You're lucky that I intervened. She almost fooled you and stripped you of all your cyber sets. But I've got a fair deal for a fellow brother. Here, take a look. See that? That's not some shiny toy for show-offs. That's a real ship. In the right hands, she'll gut a battleship like it's made of tinfoil.
Oh, Alexander, is this seriously your pitch? Pathetic. You'd have to throw in yourself as a freebie just to come close to Vendetta Rossa, and yet you'd still fail. Miserably.
Big talk from someone who's never fired a shot.
One shot is overkill for you, Alexander. It's not your endless weaving and dodging, afraid to take a hit.
They call it skill. You should try it sometime.
Skill, Alexander, is holding the strongest hand. That's why I always win.
Okay, lady. You made it personal long ago. My ship against yours. Get the simulation running. Now!
You've already lost, Alexander. You just don't know it yet.
Done talking? Let's see some action.
Oof, Captain. I can't tell if I'm shivering because it's cold or because of the suspense. Which ship do you think has better chances? While our characters are busy with each other, let me fill you in on everything you need to know about our trip to New York on the eve of 2125. And stay tuned until the end to learn about a special activity where you can unlock more holiday presents. This duel gives us the perfect chance to see these ships' strengths on full display. Under high-tech permanent camouflages, you'll discover Soviet Tier 7 cruiser Dmitry Pozharsky and Italian legendary tier battleship Ruggero di Lauria. Pozharsky is an AP shell beast. They fly extremely fast and sting deadly, boasting top-notch penetration for their caliber and improved ricochet angles. In the future world, she's known as Raider 2090, a name that truly reflects her nature as a master of ambush. Kiting skillfully across the battlefield, she vanishes into smokescreens, only to emerge with devastating strikes from her main guns and torpedoes. And with her sonar consumable, she ensures that she'll remain safe from any close-range surprises. Her opponent, Lauria, is defined by two words: big guns. Not only do her AP shells feature a shortened fuse time, but she also wields SAP shells. And let's just say they pack a punch that'll blow ships away. Combined with the ship's impressive speed and good concealment, Lauria's relatively weak armor is hardly a concern. By the time her foes realize what has hit them, they're already sunk. When Vendetta Rossa enters the battlefield, there's no room for anyone else's vengeance. The picture wouldn't be complete without their current owners, whom you've already met. They are two of our 3 new commander guises, each coming with a unique voiceover, special effects, and bonuses. Angela Luti is a special auditor for Legend INC, and you definitely don't want to mess with her. But if you find yourself as her ally, she'll grant you extra global XP once a day if you score 50 main battery hits. On the other hand, Alexander RG wouldn't take a dime from her. Perhaps his former role as the government's head of security caused their paths to cross? But now he's a mercenary and ready to boost your ship XP earnings once a day if you manage to inflict enough damage to the enemy. Both ships and guises of Angela and Alexander, along with other valuable items, are available for a special currency from the future, CyberSense. You can discover them in your special New Year's present as rewards in the campaign, with certain purchases in the store and in your regular weekly missions. You can also spend CyberSense on another new ship, French Tier 5 heavy cruiser Dupleix. A package of heavy guns designed for handling thinly protected targets, along with good speed and a reload booster, can easily become yours for free. Simply enjoy the game this update and you'll inevitably accumulate enough CyberSense to claim her.
Yoo-hoo! Hey-o, citizens! Don't miss out on a great opportunity. You have a chance to get your own holo copy of me, your beloved Ultima. How? Check out this fabulous calendar. Every day, there's a little quest, after which you'll receive my special gifts, including CyberSense, and come one step closer to the ultimate reward!
That was the spectacular appearance of our commander guys, Ultima, a 22nd century superstar. His economic bonus will boost your credit earnings by 50% once a day after 50 ribbons are earned in battles. Ultima awaits you as the main reward in this update's calendar, which spans 4 weeks, with an additional 2 weeks to complete any missed days and 7 free unlocks. Completing tasks will grant you plenty of rewards, including one of our new cyber crates called Spectral Vaults. You know the drill of our holiday crates. You open one and have a chance to get another high-level one. There are 5 versions of Spectral Vault crates with higher levels offering greater chances of unlocking desirable premium ships, including rare ones. And just like CyberSense, Spectral Vaults await you in different parts of the game. You may find them in your New Year's present that we mentioned earlier as rewards in the campaign, various missions, wind roses, and purchases in the store separately or in the steps of various chained bundles. Beyond the game, you have the chance to unlock even more Spectral Vaults. You'll find 3 locked vaults on the webpage linked below. And starting now, you have a week to crack the bonus code. The progress bar will advance with each like this video receives across our social platforms. Every captain can contribute on Instagram, YouTube, X, and Facebook with their likes and encourage their landlubber friends to help. The extent of the rewards the code unlocks will depend on how many likes you gather before time runs out. You can track the progress of this activity and review the rules on our special webpage. We're confident you'll likely breach all 3 reward levels. Travel to the world of the future on Monday, enjoy the Cyber New Year season, earn Cyber Sense, and decide what ship you want to spend them on. Angela and Alexander have made their pitches, but if you want to know my opinion, I would choose both.
Still hesitating? Fine. Someone else won't.
Ready or not, it's your move.
Hello and welcome everyone to our Cyberpunk New Year's. This is going to be our last stream of 2024, so make sure to get your questions in and anything else you would like to chat with us before we take a little winter break. I am not alone today. First joined by the final boss.
Hello everyone. It's great to see you all, and I hope you all have a wonderful end of the year. We have plenty of content to divulge through today. And we'll also be joined by a third, but he is still rushing around to get ready. So I guess we'll introduce him shortly once he's sat down and settled. But yes, I mean, we may as well just get tucked in, really.
Yeah, so welcome to our Cyber New York. We decided to do something different for Christmas and New Year's this year and try out a cyberpunk theme. So so that's just kind of the idea. We just wanted to try something new, see what happens, and so that's why we went with this sort of cyberpunky theme, because cyberpunk is cool. Who doesn't like cyberpunk? So that's the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have a whole bunch of new stuff to show, plus a bunch of buffs for ships like Miyogi. I've got a huge reload buff. Which makes me very happy, and I want to try it a lot. And Druid got some buffs. We've got new ships like Defense, Dupleix, Dmitry Pozharsky, and Ruggiero de Lauria.
The big Druid point is it now has its unique penetration values. So the AP
the AP fuse threshold has been reduced to 12 mil.
So it can do pretty good damage against enemy destroyers now.
And we also buffed its turret HP a little bit by 50%.
A little bit, 50%.
Yeah,
not a little bit.
Oh, it's a little bit. It's a little bit when it's like from 4,000 to 6,000. Depends on the scale. But yeah, so there's loads to enjoy and dig your hands into. There's a new calendar for new commander guys. Who is or as somebody in the chat is our zombie David Bowie. We also have and make sure you're doing your calendar, because that gets you CyberSense, which is your token for getting access to lots of our Cyber New Year rewards. Also, definitely pick up your New Year's present. It gives you a ton of free crates. A ton of free promotion orders, which I know a lot of you guys are wanting promotion orders. We've kind of put a little bit more emphasis on promotion orders in this update. They will also be featured in the wind roses that start next week. So keep your eye out for that. We got
okay.
a ton of stuff.
Are you ready out there in the back? No? Guess doing it right. I'm waiting for a third to become available.
Yeah. How many cybersynths can you get for free? Well, with Admiralty backing, you can get up to 10,500 by just playing the game. So you get that through doing a campaign, through doing your weekly missions, through doing your Christmas calendar, and all of the events available during the update. This update is 6 weeks long, so it's longer than a normal update, which is why campaign requires 30 renown per level. This is because we have an extra week. So the last update only required 20 because it was a 4-week campaign. We increased it by 5 or by 10 for a 6-week campaign. So that's just accounting for the extra week in this update.
This is a 6-week long campaign over the regular 5.
Yep.
Correct.
So I'll show you the sweater in a minute.
Oh, hold on. The PC is having some kind of issue.
Just hit not now.
Oh, no.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, we have some content to cover. Obviously, this store has introduced 3 event ships available for CyberSense. I guess I'll swag it to my UI. So we have, first of all, we have the British defense here in the campaign. The best form of offense is defense.
Yeah. Spelled in the UK style, which is correct to have a C. So
I have had a big grin on my face all week in the office. Every time someone's writing defense in documentation, I'm like, spell it with the C. Because usually it's American English in most of our documentations. Yeah. It's a cruiser that packs a whopping punch. It is basically Cruiser Nelson. Yeah. And with relatively good concealment, high power guns with a competitive reload, they do good damage. The main drawback to the ship is it has quite a high citadel that's relatively easy to hit, and the nose can be overmatched. But we compensate that by providing with super heals.
Yep.
So
yeah, she is like a regular British cruiser. She has the British cruiser super heal that also helps with the citadel damage, the and sonar and smoke classic combo for a British cruiser.
So the survivability it lacks in its armor, it does regain somewhat with repair party, and if you're able to get on the flank of an enemy, they will be sure to quickly regret doing so.
Yeah.
Because your guns will smack.
Yeah, and the guns are the key feature of the ship. They feature cruiser dispersion with battleship caliber guns, making them essentially the most accurate battleship caliber guns in the entire game. So that's it has 2.05 sigma / shell grouping with cruiser dispersion. So which means that it's the sniper of all battleship guns. The guns also feature improved armor piercing penetration angles, also 1/4 HE penetration, and short fuse AP shells. The only lacking part of the gunnery characteristics is the armor piercing, the raw penetration ability of the AP shells. It's not the greatest because the British 14-inch gun is not the greatest at doing that. So
maybe, luckily, with it being a cruiser instead of a battleship, there are actually a surprisingly good number of cruiser-related skills that increase AP penetration. Yeah. So they may be worthwhile looking into, and something that it being a cruiser actually benefits. Yeah,
loads of cruiser commanders have the ability to increase their AP penetration, which is probably recommended on the ship. So I'm running Cheshire. He's running.
I have just received the go-ahead to present our third guest today. I'm going over to you now.
Oh.
So I hope you can hear me. Just tell me if my microphone is actually in the right volume.
It's okay.
Was a pretty busy day, so I'm a bit late. Sorry for that. Yeah, the guys already mentioned some of the stuff, so I'm not gonna elaborate on that. I will be more or less in the background today, just going through chat, answering some questions. Mic needs to be much higher. Higher, I can try to get it closer to my mouth. Mr. Robin in chat, is it better? Otherwise, I can also check if I can increase. Oh, in terms of volume. Okay. Yep. Volume is easy. This should be a lot higher now. So let me know, chat, if it's working. Sorry for that live test. We just couldn't do it before. Better. Okay, perfect. Spy Robin in the chat. No, he's not a spy. He's very helpful, like
He's in the other room, like
helper elf.
He's coming in right now.
Oh, he's coming in, yeah. A wild Robin
A
appeared.
guest appearance.
He's not actually
So-
on camera right now. If I go to mine, you might catch a glimpse of the afro.
Yeah.
Robin, why don't you say hi to chat?
Hi, chat.
Oh, you missed
Enough here.
Like, oh, I can't keep up with it without stopping the scenes. Right.
And you can see
awesome.
Sahal is modeling our Christmas sweater.
Yeah, that's the ugly sweater that Blip is also wearing.
Yep. So somebody was asking me to show it earlier. So
It's we'll see if we can actually survive the stream, because the streaming room gets really, really hot with
I'm
like all the
actually struggling
PCs
with
and
with
consoles.
the hound right now.
Yeah. If it's too warm, we will take some clothes off, not all of them. Don't. Robin unfortunately is very busy with preparing some future stuff, some future videos maybe. And also Orochi couldn't join us today. He would have liked to, but he's sick. Which, well, I guess for him, better this week than next week when he has some days off. I think the guys already mentioned this is our last stream. So next week we won't be having a stream. The week after we won't be having a stream this New Year. And then on the 6th of January we are back, hopefully. But also, as a little bit of an apology for being late, I brought something with me. Let's not make you wait too long. We have a little bonus code for you, whoever is watching the stream. There might be some people who can still redeem it afterwards, but it's mainly meant to be active during the stream, just to make that clear. I'll just link it in our chats. If you use this code, you can just click the link. It will already put in the code. Otherwise, the code is end of year 2124. You will get a a version 2.0 spectral vault crate. Any code, yes, last hope. 4 messages above your message.
Okay.
So yeah, just use it, get it. In terms of free stuff, in terms of some giveaways, in terms of some more crates, keep in mind we will be having, what the guys just said, starting next week, the snowflakes, the wind roses, sorry. We will also be having some other giveaways. There's some stuff in the store that's for free, also for not doubloons in CyberSense, some other currencies. And also something that any community contributors watching, I don't know if we have any, but they also don't know yet, but they will get a surprise either later today or tomorrow. They will also be able to do some giveaways with level 1 crates, with level 3 crates. Should be pretty cool. Hopefully a lot of ships for you guys. We will have more in the upcoming weeks as well.
Okay, I keep seeing this question being spammed over and over again, so I'm just going to answer it again. We answered this earlier, but I'll repeat it. This campaign is 30 renown instead of 25 per milestone, because this campaign is 6 weeks long instead of 5. So it accommodates the additional week.
So
yeah.
Yep.
It is normal that you don't get one level, one milestone per completion, because you need 5 more than usual. But also to keep in mind, the rewards are also higher than usual, so it's not like you have to just do more work for the same amount of stuff. Also, I don't know if the guys mentioned it yet. For the calendar, this time around, you actually have 7 days you can unlock for free. In case you, for example, are completely off for the Christmas week, you can just do that later.
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Great. Well, maybe we can start playing a game. Or questions?
Sure, we can. I feel like doing defense first.
Yeah, we can do a defense game first.
Yeah.
Sure.
Somebody asked a question about defense. What, like, sort of, or please bring the mic closer to it. Okay. Somebody asked earlier what kind of like the historical background of defense is. Defense is a hypothetical ship, so it's kind of what we think would happen in a certain scenario. The idea is that during the late 1930s, it was believed believed and both true that Japan was increasing the power of their navy. And as a result of this, there was a misreported false report that was brought out that Japan was building a series of Panzer or pocket battleship type cruisers. And so defense is like the response to that, where like in reality, there was no such plans for this Chichibu type cruiser, as it was called. There was no such plans, but that resulted in the U.S. These false reportings resulted in the U.S. making the Alaska class, and the UK kind of looked into it a little bit. Their designs look different than this, but that came later in the 40s. And then so the Alaska class being built then resulted in the B-65 class being made, which is what the question was asking about. So.
Okay. I did invite you to a division.
Oh yeah.
In terms of changes to the center crates, or how we call them this year, spectral walls, some of the chances are indeed lower, some are higher, that's true. We just tweaked it a little bit. Like, guys, I know lowering anything or changing anything can be not the most fun thing, but it's just math and stuff. Like, it is how it is. That's how it is going to be this year. We'll see. Maybe we change it next year. Maybe we have the same crates. I know some people were confused. Usually we have different crates every single year, so we will see how it goes. We also kept your feedback in mind when it comes to the ships. So, for example, last year you got Ognavoy as a super prize in the 5th level. We removed her. We shuffled around some stuff. I saw some questions about like Jarua or like Atlantico. Last year we had the issue that they need a dedicated commander, sorry, and we couldn't give that together with the ship for some technical reasons. So this year we removed those ships, so you don't have like a ship where you don't have the right commander for. And some stuff is not free or costs more than last year. Some stuff is actually free, or sometimes it's less. So just take your time if you want to get any of the things. There are plenty of activities that all contribute towards whether it's crates or the cyber sense. So just check it out yourself, or probably some players are already doing the math. What's like the best way to spend any of the currencies. And I also saw some comments already on Shkalov. We already said Shkalov, we couldn't actually make the hotfix for make a hotfix very quickly to nerf her or to change her in any way. So we're currently checking what we can change, how we should change her, and we'll probably get this in like some of the next updates. Usually our update cycles, unless something is really wrong, take like at least 2 or 3 months to prepare with the way of like development and QA and all these things work. So Shkalov changes didn't make it into this update, but we are looking at it, and we'll see what we can do. And otherwise, if you don't really like the cyberpunk theme, there's also winter stuff. The winter ships, they are clones, so they don't have any changes. So if you have the regular ship, you just like the static, you can pick it up. Otherwise, the regular ship will have the same stats. We also saw some questions on Hermes and Constellation that we got the winter ships in now. They also have the change stats, the buff and nerf version respectively. Shkalov needs a buff, it's too weak. For me, I don't think you will get many people agreeing with you in that regard.
The question about Lauria's citadel, we'll show you after this game. Lauria has a very interesting citadel arrangement where there's kind of a couple pyramids in the middle of the ship. These are based off of the ship's historical design. Basically, she has boiler rooms that extend above the main belt a little bit, which causes those humps to be there. This is not a unique feature to Lauria. If you look on the Congo, for example, she has this in between her 3rd and 4th turret as well. So it's pretty unlikely that that would change on Lauria.
And yeah, as usual, guys, we cannot really spoil any future content like for next year. There's definitely a chance that we add more insert type of ship here. As for carriers, because there was specifically carrier question, like you guys know, they are not as popular, so we just don't add that many. Is it possible that we add more? Who knows? Yeah, probably. Whether we will do it, we will see. A lot of things can also still change next year, but of course we also have more tech tweaks planned. We have some pretty cool changes planned, I would say, but I can't actually tell you more because that would be the last time I would tell you anything, and I really like this job.
The ugly sweater, how do you get one? So the ugly sweater is no longer available even to us developers, as far as I know. I think we ran out of stock.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
I don't have these ones.
Yeah, these are, we received these sweaters in the end of 2020, I believe. So, long time ago.
Game volume is a bit too loud, somebody's saying. Castor is actually saying it. So one of you please check your audio settings that it's like
Probably
50%.
Yeah, mine's normal stream settings.
The Hudderson's Prince Blip, where you center, it's good on you, boss. Well, we thought like the ugly sweater look. I don't know how much of Blip you can actually see.
Cover?
Yeah. Sorry, not active, reversing.
But yeah. Any more accuracy buff info for Constellation Gasconia? Like, no. Blip is a little quiet. Blip, please just eat the microphone.
Yeah, I need to stay closer to the microphone. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we have these very sensitive microphones, but you need to be super close, otherwise they will just ignore you.
Have to be like basically crunching on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we change the settings, you will just constantly have an echo. So this way is a bit better, but yeah, just eat it.
We can HE pin the side of Kaba, by the way. So.
Yes, the buyout price of ships. Like if you just want everything today, yes, it's very expensive, definitely. So. The update is 6 weeks long. Take your time. You can also still get the stuff or like decide whether or not you want to spend some money in the last week. You don't have to rush it if you don't want to. Of course, if you want today, yeah, that's very expensive, but that's how it usually is, right?
Shall we have this good morning on our broadside?
Do archive customization toggle when we are, I think we are working on it, but just not that easy technically speaking. To add another toggle. When is AL Summers coming? We like collab content, we can't really tell you much about it.
Between a Citadel printer and a Citadel printer.
Is there any possibility to add epic and legendary mods for CVs? When it comes to CVs, I think we said that before, but like we don't consider them like completely, okay, this is fine now, we don't change anything else. We are still looking into them, we're still looking at your feedback, and there's most likely going to be some more changes coming to at least some of them. And once we feel like we're probably not making that many changes to CVs anymore, we can think about maybe adding like epic and legendary mods.
Smacking me. Is it the Stalingrad?
Probably.
Over and over again over the island.
Yeah, it's probably Stalingrad.
You check the Druid buff later. I mean, it's just released, so.
Ooh, that's not good.
Blip, what is the history of Cruiser Dupleix? I don't know how to pronounce it actually.
It's just like Dupleix. So
I'm very sure that's incorrect for French.
It's very similar. It's like it's not Dupleix, but it's
like
Dupleix.
Dupleix.
Like it's
Dupleix.
not it's actually kind of an intuitive pronunciation, but unusually for French.
Yes, in that case, I guess, yeah.
So the history of Dupleix is it's France's second heavy cruiser design. So they built these in the, basically in the 1931. They are an improvement of the frankly terrible Duquesne class. Basically, they realized that the Duquesne class had zero armor protection, effectively even against destroyers, and wanted it to be protected at least against light cruisers. So they sacrificed some of the speed that the Duquesne class could achieve in theory in order to gain a little bit better armor protection, but didn't end up getting as much as they needed.
Deco for the rescue, Dupleix.
Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you.
So it's still U. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not
Thank
gonna
you.
try. I mispronounce everything. I'm not gonna try.
Yeah.
I'm trying and I'm failing, but hey,
Yeah.
at least I tried.
Dupleix is is the best of the Suffren class. It's the last one. They modified the last three of them to be slightly different designs, and Dupleix is the final one of that series. So it has slightly even more armor than the rest of the class, but in game she enjoys a main battery reload booster and Soviet cruiser style short fuse AP, which allows her to very effectively smack cruisers that are here.
Yeah. And Nikolai is saying, give us Hindi or we riot. I think you're already rioting regarding Hindi. And yes, we know. She will sooner or later come to the game. I think by the time that we reach the actual year 2124, we will have her. Like some people were joking that might be the release date for her. No.
Secretly,
we know it's just, it's like a really weird ship because whatever we do, we kind of need to not overdo it, that we have like every single battle we have one of them in, while at the same time if we make it, for example, super expensive, you probably won't like that. If we make it super cheap, we have too many of them. We are thinking of how to maybe add her at some point. Hindenburg by 2024 or 2125. Yeah, typo. Yes. Come on, we can get her 1 year earlier than that.
I don't want to brawl a Lauria, but I guess I'm going to have to.
Hindenburg's the Half-Life 3 of Legends. Ooh. I don't think it's going to be that bad. But who knows? We'll see, I guess.
I've never played any of the Half-Life.
No, it's just the joke of Half-Life is that Valve cannot count to 3 because there's no Half-Life 3, there's no Team Fortress 3, don't have 3. And
actually,
I don't know when the
Alex.
Yeah, but it's not 3. It's Alex and it's VR.
Yeah, Alex is a different name. Yeah.
No, it certainly is. I think we even made that joke at some point on a PC blog, because we could freely change like what it is in the name in the address bar, and like one was just like Half-Life 3 confirmed, or like April Fools. But yeah.
Question for final is really: does Defense replace Hampshire as his favorite ship? No, but I think Elephant does. To be honest.
Isn't your favorite ship Perfect 10?
Well, it's between Perfect 10 and Hampshire. Perfect 10 is the favorite, but Hampshire is a close second. But now we have the Elephant, which is Soviet Hampshire with Soviet AP ballistics. So it still retains its single launch torpedo tubes. So
I just said it
safe to and you can put Andrew the Lip on it if you have the Pirate Commander. So it's a pretty strong combination. So yeah, I think.
I mean, you can even use Andrew on regular Hampshire as an inspiration.
No, it's a Soviet commander. Well, as an inspiration, you can.
Yeah, as an inspiration.
The skills are also pretty good.
Yeah.
So, I think I prefer. It's hard. I hate to say it, but I think I prefer Soviet Hampshire over British Hampshire now.
I'm alive, barely.
What a time to be alive. The Brit preferring something other than British things. Well.
You've probably explained this in the past. What do your usernames mean? Do you have any reasoning behind your usernames?
So my username essentially, it's kind of hard to like my username goes back to when I was a kid, basically. So I've kept it for most of my life. And so when I was a kid, we would always talk about royal family stuff, and since I was the son, I would be the prince. So I associated that with myself. As a child, and then I just found another word that I liked the sound of and attached it to it, and so I like the word blip, and so I attached it to. So I put Prince Blip together. And that's how I made it.
I think our microphones are echoing through something.
It's probably echoing through the lapel mic. Would be my guess.
Maybe mine. Yeah, I muted myself for a while. Was it better? There was also only one comment, so maybe you just clicked on the stream twice.
Maybe I got too far away from my mic. So.
Yeah, that's also possible. Then it tries really hard to pick you up.
My username goes back to like when I was a kid, really. We're actually joking about this today, how it's like a Call of Duty era name. Mine's just a Final Fantasy reference. I've always been huge on Final Fantasy games. I have like the first ever one, physical form, and all the others. I have a huge collection of them in my apartment. So that's where mine comes from. And I have no idea where yours comes from, Sahalis.
Mine is literally, I was sick of having these like Call of Duty style era edgy names that are like English words, and especially in Germany, it's like super cool, like edgy, having just a random English word as a name. So I just took syllables and threw them together until it got to be, well, it was meant to be Zehalis, because back then I didn't really speak English.
I'm dead.
But yeah, now I guess it's Zehalis.
I'm not dead.
As for some of the questions here in chat,
As if you traded that. Then you got away with that.
Why isn't Chill a super prize? We actually cut off the ships, or the choices for ships in the containers, like roughly half a year ago from now, basically. Like everything after Louisiana, I believe, or maybe the update after that.
I'm pretty sure the Cheshire skill just saves me there.
So
yeah,
we'll see. Maybe she'll returns in some way. Right now, there's no plan for her. And other ships, or most of the more recently available ships, we also figured it doesn't really make much sense to bring them back already.
OG Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, I actually have on PS1. I have the regular Final Fantasy VII physical, but then I've also got the Platinum Edition Final Fantasy VII physical.
Nice.
So like, yeah, good games. Good games.
Yep.
All right. So speaking of big guns, we have some very big guns in the form of an Italian battleship that was added this update. Lauria. For those who are unfamiliar, this battleship shoots semi-armor piercing sap. However, these sap are 457 millimeters, which in simple terms means they overmatch big guns. So you have sap that won't ricochet and won't overpen, which is...
Or to rephrase, slaps hard.
Yeah. Sap that slaps really, really hard.
Yep. But if you're wondering to know how to counter one of these, notice the large citadel.
Yes.
And so if you notice amidships, they have basically the boilers were quite tall for Italian ships at the time, and so they needed to fill that extra space up, or armor that space in order to protect the boilers. And so that's why the citadel rises up above where it normally would for most ships. So this is a somewhat weak point for Lauria. It's certainly easier to hit than the main belt citadel. And so
Chat summed it up quite well. It's Italian. If it goes broadside, it explodes. Yep. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Also, we're setting Robin. He was here earlier. He actually helped us set up the stream, but he's mainly busy with like making all these awesome trailers, teasers, videos for you guys, and together with the team, of course. And so if there's the choice between him working on that or joining us for stream, it's usually the former. That said, I think he was on stream like, 2 weeks ago?
Very recently, yes.
Yeah, pretty recently, actually.
What do you do to count this as a cruiser? The same as any other, as if you'd be playing against Yamato or anything else. The one downside of having SAP is that these shells can shatter, and they do so sometimes.
Yep.
So typically in Legendary Tier anyway, the thing about Legendary Tier is it exaggerates both the strengths of a line and the weaknesses of one. So this is why Yamato has like a really clear cheek and so on. So for cruisers, it's the same thing. Like they have really exaggerated strengths, but they also have really exaggerated weaknesses. And just like any cruiser in Legendary Tier, battleships will hurt. So you hug islands, you flank, you play maneuverable, you angle, and you just try and do your best to avoid taking big battleship hits on a broadside. Really.
Yeah. And so the Lauria is unlike most Italian battleships. The Lauria is best built with main battery guns in mind. She's not a secondary build ship, or not intended to be. And so you want to build into your maximum, or to your accuracy and your main guns, reload, that sort of stuff, because she enjoys a shell grouping / sigma of 1.9 and battle cruiser dispersion. So quite accurate, not as accurate as defenses, but still very accurate for the size of these guns.
So if you didn't claim our end of year code for the stream yet, just do so now quickly. You can just click on the link. I pinned it in both chats. I actually finally figured out how to do that on YouTube. So just get it there, and you will get a Spectral Vault 2.0. And otherwise, there are plenty of more opportunities to get some codes. Watch out for any other giveaways, and also check out the community contributor channels. They will probably have something the next weeks as well. Wink, wink.
So a quick question.
Somebody's saying this Prince Blip audio doesn't sound so good.
I don't know what I...
Conquistador, you need to like say what exactly is happening. Like,
yeah, I can speak.
is he too
I can
quiet? Or like...
I don't think I'm speaking quietly. I'm speaking in my normal streaming voice, so...
Might be about the game. I don't know.
I did see a quick question. Will we be getting rocket planes and kamikaze planes? Rocket planes, who knows? It's really difficult to predict what's coming in the future. But kamikaze planes is pretty...
Yeah.
It's
no
very,
plans.
very unlikely that we will add this just due to the sensitive nature of kamikaze planes.
It also doesn't make sense to waste, or like the Japanese Navy knew this, it didn't make sense for them to waste trained carrier pilots in kamikaze. So it was done, but less deliberately. Normally you're going to see kamikaze coming from shore-based aircraft.
Yeah, guys, I don't know why Blip
someone
would
just
sound
said
weird.
that we
Just-
sound normal, but you sound loud.
I sound loud.
And
I
then
can
the other
check
one
that.
is that Blip is being echoed through someone else's mic, which is probably yours.
It's probably better now.
Yeah.
So guys, if it's better, let me know now. But I just checked Blip and Fana, they're both like the exact same distance.
Yep.
I sound the best. Okay.
Lapel mic is always
So
the clearest,
what you can do, Blip, is just angle the mic up a little bit. Because in theory it's meant to be like spoken into at an angle.
Yeah.
We'll try that.
Might help. Maybe it's just time to get new microphones. We can think about that for next year.
I'm kind of jealous of the other team's microphones they just received. So maybe we could.
You can say it's the Steel Hunters team. We
Oh,
announced-
right, I can actually say it now.
we
Yes.
finally announced a new game. If you haven't checked it out, steelhunters.com.
I forgot, yeah. So the
Yeah.
other game that was just announced, Steel Hunters, their team has set up a streaming room, and I'm a bit jealous of some of their equipment.
Well, they
It's
did
very
get
nice.
us an upgrade as well because they used our setup here for
Yeah.
some stuff before.
Yeah.
And if you have a development version of a game, it needs a lot of power.
Yeah. I guess they were also able to trial and error what they wanted through our setup, and
Yes.
they kind of figured where they was going to upgrade.
Chatbox and Fleet, guys, it's really, really difficult for various like technical and design reasons to have anything cross-platform when it comes to so-called user-generated content, so anything that you can customize. So we know you would really like that, but it is very difficult to add. There's a lots of factors and nuances with it. If we can ever do it, we will definitely do it, but I don't know if and when that happens.
Okay, and we will be jumping into a game shortly in is it Lauria?
Ruggiero de Lauria.
I'm not going to try that.
Or Ruggiero.
Just call her Lauria.
Yeah,
Lauria.
Lauria.
Yeah. I
can't do it. I'm
like-
sorry. I'm trying my best.
It's
Okay.
Okay, none of us are probably pronouncing it right anyway, because Italian is notoriously difficult for...
Yeah.
We still have any Italian colleagues? I'm not sure. Yeah, no, we do. Actually, in
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Steel Hunters team.
And Steel Hunters, yeah.
We can probably just check it with them.
Well, I mean, like, who knows? I sometimes mispronounce British ship names.
Yeah, but to be fair, British and also US ship names can be very tricky to pronounce.
Massachusetts. Being a quite classic example.
Massachusetts is like the word that like, or Mississippi as well is weird, but like Massachusetts is like the final boss of names when you learn English as a foreigner.
You know what ironically gets me is the ship Worcester.
It's Worcester.
It's pronounced Worcester, right?
No, it's Worcester.
It's Worcester.
But in English, like in England, the town, we have a source that's Worcestershire,
Yeah.
and among other things, all sound very similar, but they're spelt very similar as well.
Yeah.
But they're pronounced vastly differently. So these are the things that throw me off when it comes to like English ship names, is because my brain tells me to say it one way because I've been saying it in
Yeah.
relation to something else my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah, and that one I had to learn as well, and I still slightly get it wrong because it's like Worcester, and instead of
Yeah.
Yep.
Your English is off. You're saying that to the English guy.
My English is, like most of England, my English is off. Yes.
That's because I'm speaking American. Of course, my English is off.
Blip
Are you
speaks
bilingual,
simplified
English and American?
No. I speak original English, and you're the one that has yours is the English that has changed more. My voice is going.
Please don't. New Englandish. Okay. But yeah, there are a lot of like what still gets me is Jarvis. Why is an E pronounced as an A? Like,
Oh yeah.
I just know now, but like, why? Why are you people like that?
I'm trying to think of any other like British scuffed ship names.
Well, Jarvis, but
I mean, Edinburgh.
Edinburgh, is that really
It's
scuffed?
super
though?
scuffed.
Really?
It would be Edinburgh.
Yeah,
Oh,
especially
I
for a
guess.
German, because a lot of Berg is town in German, right? So it's the
No.
G is much harder.
No, Burg, like with U, would be like a castle kind of thing.
Yeah.
And with an E, it would be mountain. But we
Yeah.
named a lot of cities after mountains or castles. So
Oh yeah.
That's where the confusion comes from. What else? Like
American English is a different dialect, and we have different dialects within American English.
What carrier
even
is
within
that? Midway.
England, like you move 1 kilometer or like 1 mile, doesn't really matter, and people speak completely differently, and you don't understand them anymore.
Yep.
Guys, we've been talking about American and British English for like 20 seconds, and we're already going into independence from the British Empire.
Yeah, let's not get political, guys.
No, they're just talking about America.
Oh, okay.
They threw the tea in the river. Oh.
English in general is wild. Like, let's not even get started with like Australian English and their slang. Like, it can be really, really confusing if you don't know their terms.
Oh,
Big fan.
I just
Yamato.
18K'd Yamato with 1 salvo of sap.
Country equals accent, region equals dialect. Well, yes, but also no. Like,
Like go to Texas and then go to Minnesota and tell me that that's the same accent.
yeah.
Dude, the sap shells look super cool with the guys as well.
Bostonian English. What's Boston English like?
Boston. It's like kind of imagine you're kind of more stereotypical like pseudo Italian English.
So it's like posh US English.
No, posh U.S. English is antebellum English, which is like deep south.
Okay.
The Bostonian accent is that you're like, hey, I'm walking here, Boston, you know, I'm sorry to any Bostoners, I'm insulting you in a way, but that's the media impression of what a Bostonian accent is. It's nowhere near that terrible.
Drifter saying Boston kind of has a heavy Irish slang.
Yeah, it's like
twang, sorry.
it's Irish and Italian kind of combined together in a weird way.
The closest British alternative
I remember
would be
Obama
Scouse.
said Austrians speak Austrian. I did not know that either, but Austrian is actually its own language. It doesn't count as German. They have an Austrian like dictionary even.
Yeah,
It is too different to German to be just German.
yeah,
Or
same
the
thing with
German
Swiss
dialect.
German.
Yeah, Swiss German is even more crazy. Like Austrian, in many cases, you can kind of get what people want if they are like from a really like countryside and are very heavy in the
Oh, the right flank is getting spicy really
slang.
quick.
But
Yep.
Swiss German, no idea.
Can I do our Lauria or Lauria on our Lauria violence? Let's see.
By pronouncing Soviet and German ships we don't have. I mean, I have no issues with either, honestly.
Yeah, right. Like Soviet ship names are often easier for me to pronounce than like Italian, just because it's the consonants are much more defined.
Like in both languages, you just pronounce every single letter. Pretty much always the same, almost
So
always
the
the same.
Conqueror is shooting HE, and Lauria has sap, so I can go a little bit broadside. Get his guns off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Lauria on par with the Italian battleship Marco Polo?
It's with-
No, because Marco Polo is a tier 8, while Righello de Lauria is a legendary tier. But they have somewhat similar playstyles in that they're accurate Italian battleships, more so. So if you play Marco Polo well, you will likely play Ruggiero Lauria pretty well.
And
Going in for the ram.
I guess you can brawl. You just need to be really aware
That's
of
such
your
a
citadel.
horrible trade,
Like,
man.
You can play in many different ranges, but if you get smacked hard. Like, it hurts.
Yep. Ooh, the turret burst. You get smacked like that.
I didn't see it, but I agree.
Yep.
I'm getting a lot of ricochets. I'm
No
trying to hit
Christmas
super
sweater for
strict with Sep.
final. He wasn't around when we got
Oh,
these,
Sep,
so just
okay.
talking about it earlier.
Yeah, these are quite old sweaters.
Yeah, I joined the team quite late in comparison.
The thing is, like, something that a lot of people usually say when they like come to wargaming. Many of us have been around for so long. Like, even if you have like 3, 4, 5 years of seniority,
You're still
in the
considered quite
company,
new.
You're
Like,
new, yeah.
I'm considered new, and I've been here 3 years.
Yeah.
Just bouncing. This Conqueror's going to try and ram me. If we could like do something about
But-
it.
I
So,
gotta
you
get
have
around these
5
islands.
years now, right?
Me, I'm 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going towards 10, so yeah. Back then, in the old times. And our Wind Roses next week. Starting next week, that is.
Yep. They start December 23rd, Monday.
Actually, that's a good opportunity, guys. We have, as you know, we usually have like our patch notes, then we have like a dedicated blog post to like certain events or themes, like this time the cyberpunk stuff. Is there anything missing in terms of information from the article?
It's reloads AP now.
We already got the feedback that like you should put everything into one article, but quite frankly, it is too much. We already know that a lot of people don't read them if they're separate. That's why we have several split articles. We could, of course, put everything from the entire update into one, including like ranked and brawls and whatnot. But is there anything you would like to see in articles, or any posts, maybe also social media, anything you would like? Feel free to let us know. Like either here or also in the feedback channel on Discord.
I gotta try and save the carrier if I can.
I'm sick of crates. Just put all the ships, commanders, and items in the store so players can actually get what they want. Why spend if what you want is never being offered? And we have a mix, right? Like sometimes you can just straight up buy something. The balloons, there are plenty of ships you can just buy. Or also free XP, global XP. Keep saying the wrong name. Or in this case, yes, you have to buy crates to actually get the cyber sense, but you can also play for some. And then you can use that to just buy what you want, right? Quite frankly, monetization is mainly like behavior driven. If you use it, we will do it again. If you don't, we will probably not do it again. Sometimes we also have to try stuff. So yeah.
Oh,
Which is stupid because all the CCs read the patch notes on their channels. What do you mean, Captain Brian?
I should have been using AP
What is-
more
what
often.
is
I was
stupid?
using SAP on broadside stuff, but I should have been APing broadside stuff because the AP on this, like, yes, the SAP is funny and does loads of damage, but man, this AP bangs too.
Yep.
Got all those planes.
How-to videos on YouTube? We're not talking about YouTube videos. Like how-tos and stuff would be really nice, but it's very difficult to actually make good videos and to also have time for that in that regard, because a lot of the things you have to kind of experience. Like a lot of the interaction in the game between the ships can be different from battle to battle. And if we were to just say always run in, then you will, like with the destroyer, for example, in spots, you will just have destroyers YOLOing. If we tell them to stay back, they will just stay back all the time.
Here,
Like,
actually, because I got shots out earlier.
difficult. But maybe we have something like this.
Oh, the double team.
Juicy.
That was
Juicy.
that was a 59.4k citadel right there.
Ugh.
Captain Ryan, like, yes, okay, I get what you mean. Yes, the CCs read the notes, but in the grand scheme, the overwhelming majority of players neither watches any videos nor reads anything. So these people we don't talk about. We were talking about like you guys who actually join our streams or who watch the community contributors or who read our patch notes, or all three, or a mixture of that. So if there's anything missing that you would like to see, we can always talk about it.
Yep. There are way more players in the game than you regularly speak to in our community.
The overwhelming majority of players in any game, quite frankly, like we're talking 90, 95%, maybe even 99 in some cases, don't interact outside of the game. They just play, maybe half an hour, maybe an hour, not even every day, and then they just quietly leave. And you will never know that they were there.
The midway is running away. I was going to be nice and try and, because he's super weak, I was going to try and just ram him so he can get all the damage on me for any of his campaign missions he's doing.
But again, we are making like these videos, the articles, social media posts. We make this mainly for you guys who are actually here right now, who are interested. Well, a lot more than the couple hundred viewers we have right now, of course.
Salty Mr. Reaper. I was coming for you, Fun. I know you. I saw the name and I recognized it, but I didn't want to call you out on the stream. I was like, that's bloody Reaper.
Okay.
Sorry. Go on.
How much do you guys grow each year in terms of sales and all that stuff? We will not comment on sales numbers like revenue or player counts. Sorry. But we are doing fine. Update on the Warships Legends wiki. It depends on what kind of update you want, but the wiki is a very, very special project that I still don't know what's going to happen with it. It really needs an update, but that is not as easy as you might think.
Yep.
I would be happy with a big sign saying play the side you spawn on. I believe we actually added that to the loading screen tips, didn't we?
I think it's in there.
Stay on your flank or something along those lines.
Yeah, like a while ago, those two gentlemen you see playing, but also a couple other members of the team actually went through all the loading screen tips and reworked them completely.
Yeah.
They used to be a bit questionable in some cases. I don't think we left any of those in.
There were some that didn't make a whole lot of sense, and the most notorious one that players would always report to us is the if you need cover, you can hide behind a teammate. So we removed that one and we added some different ones.
Why is this game becoming so expensive so fast? Depends on what you want. Honestly, we don't change that much, and in the grand scheme, like on average for update to update, you actually get more. It was a bit bad probably the way we did it last update, where we had a 4-week update, now we have a 6-week update. For example, the weekly missions, they will always give you doubloons now. It's no longer doubloon week. You can just get doubloons every week, and you can play either all the weekly missions on one day, or you play throughout the week. You can choose that instead of having to play every day. So it depends a bit. If you're super active, yes, for example, you get less boosters on average if you're a really, really good player. But overall, we're actually doing more. But it's, of course, a matter of perspective. If you have a lot of commanders, yes, it takes quite a while to get them done. We will have to see. We definitely see your feedback on it. And like the guy said earlier, we have actually quite a lot of commendations, promotion orders, this update with the Wind Roses and some other means. So some updates you have more, some updates you have less. Overall, it should be pretty much the same as previous years, in some cases even more.
Yeah, I mean, players wanted more promotion orders. It was a big feedback point, so we're working on kind of dripping more in when we can.
The wiki was run by not Cerberus, wasn't it? Well, Cerberus is sadly no longer with us. I will not extend on that further, but Deku here in chat is actually the one who is now kind of in charge of the wiki and is trying very hard with his team to populate it and to keep it up to date. But it is, of course, a monumental task.
Cerberus was the one that kind of instigated the concept of us having a wiki. He was the one that kind of envisioned the idea of us having it and wanted to begin it. But you know, with wiki, there's always a monumental amount of issues, because a lot of it is very code based and so on. So, but we have now, as mentioned, we have a whole new team working on it voluntarily. This is huge props to those.
Yep. So just give the rundown of Dmitry Pozharsky here. Pozharsky is one of the Chapayev class cruisers. She might be a Sverdlov, but I'm pretty sure she's a Chapayev. They're related. And essentially imagine a Russian cruiser take on the UK light cruisers. So you have Russian cruiser gun ballistics. They're actually slightly improved. With normal, they have a normal AP fuse and fuse threshold, but they have much improved armor piercing ricochet angles. You get short smokes, you get and a sonar alongside of it. So it's kind of a AP Kutuzov in a lot of ways.
I wonder if I can like.
It's just to make sure there's a difference between Soviet and Russia. So our nation in game is Soviet, is the Soviet nation. Soviet ships, not Russian ships. That is a bit of a difference. So anyway, will there be more steel ships? I mean, we just added a new steel ship, like, what, 2 months ago? So not for now, but in future, maybe.
Yep.
We will be having some discounted, slightly discounted steel camos, actually. And I think we can all agree the modifications, the epic and legendary ones, you can upgrade regular ones from with steel, are actually pretty good on a lot of ships, and that is a very quick way to spend a lot of steel in game. So we kind of also want to balance it around that, right? You can see how much people have on average, and like how much the craziest savers of you in terms of steel have, and so yeah, we'll mainly base it on that.
Managed to push this Provincian back a bit, which is nice.
They're adding Steel Hunters, an all-new pay-to-win game. I think, as far as I know, there were some interviews given that that's actually not the case. They said they don't know exactly how monetization will work, but so far there's only like cosmetics in the game. Like, they don't even have premium max or anything like this. Whether that's a thing in the future, I don't know either. I know as much as you do, but like even our game, like, some things might be a bit strong. If you put a good player versus a bad player in 2 ships that are considered really weak and really strong, the good player will probably still win.
Can we get an
many
unsinkable
cases.
Sam, guys? I'm trying really hard.
Can we get an unsinkable? Oh, yeah, you said
I'm
that just
trying.
now.
I'm
Yeah.
really. Believe me.
The final
when
boss
I
guys
say
with
I am
whiskers.
trying.
Yep.
We got Sam guys at home. Sam guys at
Yeah,
home.
I am. Oh yeah, good top. So I'm gonna take at least one. I think.
What's the differences with Kutuzov? So Kutuzov is much more of a HE slinging focused ship, where the Dmitry Pozharsky is only an AP shooting ship. So she has improved AP penetration angles, which help her to do things like that. And so she's kind of like designed to rip up the upper works of battleships, cruisers, and of all types, and destroyers. The AP also has improved penetration and flight speed. Basically, there's less air drag on the shells, so they lose their velocity much less over time compared to Kutuzov or Chapayev, and so that's the gist of it. Nice little assist there.
To address some other comments, Beef is saying, Shill better not come back in a crate. He said it was a special gift for people with obscene amounts of resources to trade in. You can't give it away for $5 in a crate. I'll never log in again. So, first of all, we didn't say it's exclusive. That said, as I said earlier, it's not in the crates right now. We don't currently have any plans for her. We can't promise you that nothing will ever come back. Quite frankly, that's very unrealistic because we also don't know. If a ship has very few players, for example, that's a good reason for us to bring it back, because then you don't flood the game with the same ship. How we bring it back, if we bring it back, that's all questions that we might see in a year or so. Who knows? Like, honestly, we don't either. Having some rare ships back, like in some cases, if you look into our crates, we do. Like, prime examples being like Jean Bart, Lenin.
Colbert.
Yes, good point. While other ships you actually never saw being added back, so I guess a bit comparable, but also not. Way more rare, actually. Of course, the Alpha and FE ships, those we really don't have any plans to bring back, but König Albert, for example, from the auction, yes, I said the bad A word, don't think we have any plans for, but even that, who knows?
I wonder what's spotting me.
Like, in the end, it's also a matter of, like, if we have something in the game, nobody plays it. Maybe we bring back like a slightly changed version or a clone of it or something like this. Would be just a waste of data on your on your console otherwise, right? So
I'm gonna die here. I don't.
also something.
Won't be alive much longer.
Yeah, the Blue Sky Kamikaze in Japan is also one of those ships. That's true.
Good
Well,
ride,
guys, I'm having
Nebraska.
trouble in downloading the mobile app of Legends, specifically linking the progress from a PlayStation console to a mobile device. It's a bit difficult to help you here, but what you could do is just join our Discord. It's just WoW's Legends, like discord.com/invite/WoW's Legends. And or you can also ask on Reddit, Facebook, like anywhere where people can reply more easily and also with screenshots. But other than that, there's also a wait, I can just link it to you. I'll quickly post one more time the code. We have a whole guide on it. Boop, boop. Here. If anybody's interested in Twitch as well, I posted it in both chats. For those of you who don't know, we're actually online on YouTube and Twitch because some of you prefer one, some of you prefer the other. Most of you are on YouTube, but it doesn't really cost us much to go for Twitch as well.
I saw someone saying to use Final's words, naughty ships. Just to clarify, I consider quite a lot of things naughty ships. I consider a hybrid tech trees to be naughty ships. I consider Edinburgh to be naughty ship.
You considered Perfect 10 naughty when she was underperforming a lot.
Perfect 10 was the worst performing cruiser in the game at one point. I was considering that super naughty. I was loving it. It's my favorite cruiser in the game. Like, bang on. I don't know, everything about the Perfect 10's playstyle just resonates with me and how I play. So I just used to be correct in it. Like, I loved it.
Who that is saying it's just basic business. If you're not offering it for sale, you're not getting the sale or the revenue. Give your customers what they say they want, not what you assume they want. So, quite frankly, that's the big issue we have a lot of times. There's not just one customer. It's not like we are selling a singular ship and you can only play a singular ship and we know either you like the ship or you don't and you don't play the game. But we have many different players. Some, for example, like right now, some might not like the cyberpunk stuff, but they would like the winter clone ships clones. Some might like cruisers, but no destroyers. Some like battleships, some like carriers. No matter what we do, if you like everything, if you want everything, yes, it's a lot, but for the overwhelming majority of you, you only want specific things. So that's why we have a lot at once, because we have to kind of like cater to all kinds of different players. And in the end, sometimes we can just straight up follow what you're saying in feedback, but very often the feedback we receive from you guys on like who are actually writing it and stuff like this, whether here in chat or on Discord or socials, you are a very small part of the player base. So this might just not be for you, it might be for others, or what we also sometimes do is we just have to try things. Because we're like, maybe something works better, let's try it.
I'm cooked.
So there are a lot of different offers because of that.
Michelangelo.
Not just that, I got battleships on my broadside now.
Yeah,
GG.
we're cooked. GG.
Like Carrier's Heresy. Yeah, well, I think there are a lot of battleship players who would say the same about Shimakaze. Right?
I mean, somebody I was asking.
I don't know what you're talking about. I think Shimakaze is a fine ship.
Yeah, somebody was asking earlier if it was okay for them to be playing nothing but like interested in playing nothing but carriers. Yeah,
yes,
that's okay.
I mean,
If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. Do things that you like to do. So if you enjoy playing carriers, if you enjoy playing destroyers, play the destroyers you want.
Will the Ohio be coming back? Well, not right now, but
what's crazy is, so I obviously, as you all know, I have like a loaded dev account with loads of stuff in it, like most of the ships, and you know, so much so that whenever we want to see if a ship is in the game, devs often just refer to my account to see if it's on my account. I often find myself returning, like, out of all the ships I have, you would think I would be playing nothing but Jean Bart, Lenin, you know, all these other things. But what I often find myself returning back to, like, are the ones that feel rewarding to play, but aren't, like, underrated champions. So, I love Duke of York. I love Perfect 10. I love Hampshire. Like, I would prefer Hampshire over Plymouth. Although I guarantee that's a hot take, and a lot of people will go, oh, you know, Plymouth is much better than Hampshire. I prefer Hampshire over Plymouth. You know, and I find myself revisiting, like, these super underrated ships that you almost don't see very often in the matchmaker, but when you play them, you get a really solid game in them, and they just feel super rewarding.
Yeah, Duke of York, for example, is slept on. Duke of York is absolutely slept on, and it's like playing a defense at tier 6.
So
Try it.
like, you know, show finals top 5 boat screen. I think most of my top 5s are boats I was playing before I joined Wargaming, because I used to be a whale player, so I used to play a lot of Jean Bart and a lot of other things, but back then, you know. Now, like, whenever people see me in Matchmaker and they're screenshotting me, it's almost always in Plymouth or something of the sort.
To answer some more questions, is mobile Android controller available? I saw a lot of you asking that, not noticing that we added it. Yes, we already added it actually over a month ago. Exactly a month ago, I believe. But for both iOS and Android, you can play with your controller. So if there was a blocker for any of you console players to play it on the go, like for example during the holidays season, the upcoming vacation period, you can just link your Xbox or PlayStation controller, also many other controllers, and play with it. But it only works in battle. The port you just have to control by touch, but like I think it's relatively well done for touch controls. Like even if you're a console player, you should be able to get used to it. Like it's literally you just tap on what you see, and what you tap on, that's what you interact with. Shouldn't be that bad. And in game, you can just use your controller.
I actually just saw a really good question, and it is, why are you allowed to play as an employee? Years ago, conflict of interest was a thing. So several points. First of all, would you rather the devs don't play their own game? And second of all, I was a player before I joined. I was hired from the player base, and I think it's important for us to play the game, specifically for the reason I mentioned is we're coming on stream, we're answering questions, we're expected to know what we're talking about, and the easiest way to understand a player experience is to play it. Like I play through the campaigns almost every update, I play through the missions, I complete the same, the objectives you do.
Like,
and
is it wrong for a Apple salesman to have an iPhone?
Honestly, like, to be completely real with you, I just really enjoy the game. Like there are so many, like, I mean, sure, some people here might have been able to say, during the weekends, even when I'm not being paid by Wargaming and I'm just chilling at home, on the couch or whatever, I will boot my Xbox up and I'll play Legends. And what I often do is I just jump into random looking for groups and play with total strangers. And they'll tell me what they think about the game, what they're interested in, what they're not interested in. Half the time they know I'm an employee, other times they don't, and they're just venting about things. I just really enjoy playing it, both during work hours and outside of work hours. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing,
No, and like conflict of interest is usually something, if we were to play some other ship game, for example, there would be conflict of interest. But even that is something that our team usually is fine with, because hey, then we know how other games feel like, whether that's Call of Duty or something like similar. Yeah. We play many different games. We're players like you. And actually, at least for my team, if, for example, the guys wouldn't be playing the game, I would make that a performance goal. That would actually, or it actually is, even in some cases, in your contract, you have to play the game. Because like Fana just said, how should we evaluate your feedback if we don't know what you're talking about?
Yep.
Of course, somebody in like the finance team doesn't need to know the game at all, because all they should do is pay our salaries, please.
Please keep paying us salaries.
HR or whatever, like all these supporting things. Or yes, like a system administrator also doesn't need to play our game. They just need to make sure it's playable. So it depends a little bit on the type of work you're doing. But community teams in particular, if you don't know the game, it's difficult. Of course, that said, don't attack other community managers if they don't know their game. In many companies, like I think that's really a benefit that we have. Our team, our bosses, our directors actually embrace having community management, lots of community activities. Our directors all read the feedback every single week. We very often get even questions or follow-ups. They oftentimes even read it outside of like our reports. And I just get a random message from like our publishing director or dev director. It's like, hey, what are they talking about there? Can you like sum this up and let me know? So I think that's something that is actually very beneficial, that we have this luxury. In some companies, they have one community manager for 20 games, and they're trying their best. So.
What was the funnest experience? Hang on, what does that say? I'm trying to read up.
So, while you're finding that, I saw somebody ask, is there any plans for free content or like free projects coming up? Of course, there's always going to be something coming along the lines, whether it be new tech trees, new bureau projects, etc., that can be available to absolutely anyone.
There's some exciting stuff we're working on for 2025.
Yep.
I won't say more than that because my boss is literally right there. And, I don't want to get in trouble.
Yep.
There's some really exciting stuff coming. Yes.
Yeah.
But that's,
What was the funniest experience in a random chat when someone found out you were a wargaming team member? I don't really think I've had many like where they found out I'm a wargaming team member, but I've had instances where like I've killed someone and like I've dev struck them at the start of a game and they've accused me of cheating and said they were going to report me to wargaming. I've had that a few times, but I don't think I've ever really had anything beyond that.
Yep.
To be honest,
my favorite was there was actually in World of Tanks PC before I joined Wargaming. I was a moderator, and somebody recognized me that I was a chat moderator, and I had the most lucky possible situation where like the highest caliber gun basically bounced on like one of the lowest, like ricocheted, lowest armor vehicles in the game. Twice in a row, which is like 1 in a million. I should have played the lottery on that day. And he was enraged, accusing me of cheating, and somebody else replied with, nah, he's not cheating, he's moderated. Probably just enabled God mode so you can moderate the like hangar chat, and like the garage chat. And I was like, yeah, that's not how it works. I just got lucky.
Yep.
But another funny thing was I was at an offline event, and somebody approached me. Was like, hey, can you like help me? I was like, yeah, sure. Explained the game to them, and then they asked me like, well, so what do you do for work? I was like, this. They're like, no, like outside of events. What do you do for work? It's like, yeah, community management. No, it's like outside of events. It's like, yes, we work in community management. That is a job? I thought you're not getting paid. It's like,
Nope.
yeah.
I guess I have one last question for everyone.
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
Just for everyone before we start next game.
Sure.
Someone asked, it seems it's the final update of the year. What was your favorite campaign ship this year? I know my answer. Off the rip.
Michelangelo.
Yeah?
Period.
Mine's Provincian.
Yeah.
Solid
Devin.
campaign.
Yeah.
What about you? You have a favorite one, Sahalis?
Favorite campaign ship? I have to actually think.
Lo
Like-
Yang is also a really solid, like,
You
good.
mean Lucian?
Lushan.
Yeah.
Correct.
Lucian is really good, yeah. What? I have to check what campaigns we had this year.
It's been a long year.
Yeah.
I can tell you the campaigns for next year. I have worked way
I think
way too
can't
much
tell,
into
but
that.
Yeah, I'm sure the chat would really like you to tell
No,
the
chat,
campaigns
I
for
cannot
next
tell
year.
you. I can tell the guys. I really like Michelangelo because it's so weird. But I'm just too loyal to my good old like Minnow Schlieffen. Like
I'm really glad people like Michelangelo because we tried so hard with that ship
Yeah,
to
we were
make
just
it
like-
fun.
Like, because it's inherently a weird ship, so it's just like, please work.
So I'll be a bit honest. It came into Super Test in its first iteration, and it wasn't very popular.
Yeah.
So we looked at the ST data and we gathered the feedback of testers, and we also played it internally and gathered our own feedback. And we were like, right, how do we envision this ship, which is its inherent flaw is in its design. So how can we make it fun? And we tried really hard with this. So to see so many people enjoy it is amazing.
Yep.
I mean, does last year count?
I'd say anything in 2024 would count because it's a
Like the last
in
New Year
review kind
update
of
was
question.
also still in 24. And
Sure.
it was a British cruiser.
Sure.
Oh.
So
First thing
of
can
course I
count.
like that.
Okay.
No, otherwise, if it has to be this year, I think my favorite campaign is Michelangelo. It's just a quirky ship. It's weird. Otherwise, I haven't played defense yet, but just from looking at her, she also looks like she could be a new favorite. But like, it's not a light cruiser. It's not like a heavy cruiser, a British one.
Yeah. I want to take a moment and answer a couple of historical questions I saw in there. Somebody asked earlier, what's Ruggiero de Lauria based on? There is a 1920s battle cruiser kind of sketch design by one of the Italian Navy admirals that she is based on. It's a real sketch design. There's a real document out there with the blueprint for it and everything, all the details. But it never got anywhere because it would have been illegal for Italy to build such a thing because they were part of the naval treaty system. So that answers the Lauria. They didn't intend to build the ship, but it was kind of a idea, or just in case the treaty breaks, that sort of thing. And the secondary question was what out of the like what if ships, so like Lion, Lynn, and Montana, Ohio, which would be the most likely to be built. Montana would probably be the most likely to be built. After that would be the Lion class, in my opinion. So, because those were actual projects that were adopted and were like, well, parts for the Montanas were ordered, but they were never like, they didn't get much farther than that. The Lion class were under construction. And so they would be the most likely to be finished. Hope that answers your questions. Sketch on a napkin, like the King Nimitz, Iowa. It's more substantial than sketch on a napkin. It's there is an actual blueprint for it. It's just a pretty basic one.
Do we have more paper ships or more real ships?
Oh, it's
Good
probably
question.
pretty 50-50
Yeah.
at this point. So
There's also something like we get asked sometimes, why don't we just bring all the like actually existing like real ships? Because then we would just have all of those at once, and then for the rest of eternity only have paper ships. So it's kind of like a balance we try to keep. That's why we don't have some ships. Same for like some more desirable ships. We don't want to get you all the interesting stuff first, and then for years and years to come, just boring things you don't care about.
yep.
Bit loud. Sorry.
That's okay. Somebody asked what my favorite nation naval doctrine is. That's a hard one. I kind of like the Dutch naval doctrine in World War II. They kind of like went with a risk theory sort of thing, kind of like what the Germans did in World War I. It was like, if we have a powerful enough fleet, people will leave us alone. And then that didn't turn out.
Wait,
so
what?
well.
Who wrote Say Hardest No with the Legends account on YouTube?
My guess would probably be Robin.
Yeah, it's
Robin,
probably
what did I
Robin.
say?
It was about the campaign ships for next year.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then
I really want to keep my job. Don't worry, guys. Any possibilities to have other Fleet Cup seasons? Do I leak this? I guess there's a possibility. Yeah.
Oh, I think unfortunately, sorry, devs, but there is a possibility.
I think it's a strong possibility.
Blip, what do you think about the movie Greyhound? I think it is an excellent movie. Tom Hanks always does really, really well in general with his historical movies, and highly recommend Greyhound if you want kind of a Hollywood naval experience. Of course, it's not perfect. It's dramatized. It's based off of a pseudo-fictional novel. So like Master and Commander in a way. It's a fictional thing, but it's very much based off of real events that have happened before. So, yeah.
Can we get more World of Warships books? I mean, never say never, but I don't think anytime soon. And like there were lots of issues with the previous one, but it also just took like what, 4, 5, 6 years to make. That said, it has a lot of detail. So, yeah. Don't know. You would probably be better off asking the PC team because they did this pretty much mainly. So, yeah, maybe ask their stream, but I also don't think you would get a much different answer. Please play Hindenburg. We don't have her in the game, so we can't play her.
Yep.
What ship is on the sweater?
This is like a cargo ship.
I think it is.
It's not a cargo ship, I don't think.
It looks like a New Orleans class cruiser to me. So.
Omaha, maybe?
No, it's not an Omaha. Not
No?
enough funnels.
Oh, okay. I don't really see it very well.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a New Orleans.
Some US ship, probably.
I saw some questions asking about an HMCS Haida captain, like a dedicated captain for it. We see that feedback quite often, and it's something that we forward whenever we do see it. So we know that you guys want one.
What is the reason for not keeping collab or special ports in the game, such as Star Trek? Is it about the size of the game file thing? Why not as a DLC? So it's twofold. First of all, or actually 3 reasons. First of all, yes, the game size is a concern, always. Like, yeah, there are some games that are 100, 150 gigabytes large. but it does impact like who can play it and who can download updates and all this stuff. The other thing is we need to, whatever we add to the game, even if it's just a tiny pixel somewhere, we have to test whenever we make, for example, lighting changes. We have to test whenever we change any technology that could affect it. So that's adding more work for example, the QA team. Might also change what the programmers can do or cannot do because we want to make some changes. And the other thing is, especially for collabs, it's a license thing as well. Like, I'm not gonna say any names, but for example, there was a game recently that was closed because their license apparently ran out. There was a rumor, but I wouldn't be surprised. If you want something forever, it is really, really expensive. It can be. And in some cases, you also don't want to commit to that. We don't know what happens with a collab partner. Partner doesn't know if it's good or bad to be in our game. Like, so usually this is all like very limited content, and some of it might be coming back. But yeah, so there are various different reasons. I think if I pick any that makes like the most sense for you guys as well as the maintenance, if we at some point, if we add too many things, the entire dev team will just be busy with maintaining things instead of actually making new stuff. And that will definitely hinder them. But yeah.
Yep.
It's the law of coding. If there's more code, there will be more bugs, conflicts. Yes, exactly. The more things that can go wrong might eventually go wrong. You can be as good as you want to. It just happens. Like, games are incredibly complex projects in programming. And even without that, like just styling. Like, let's say we say at some point, okay, we want better textures. We rework all the textures. Everything we add, we also need to rework. So, yeah.
This is going to be an interesting...
Yep.
Well, there are also other reasons, yes. In some cases, a partner can also no longer license something. How about a Star Wars license? I don't think they do any... I think they do any collabs with, like, games. Do they? They make their own games. But again, there's also something like maybe the partners don't want to. Maybe we reached out and didn't agree on something. Maybe we want more money, they want more money. Who knows? There's lots of issues with getting collabs. Like, it's a very long process. It can take years in some cases. When I'm not in the office, I'm the kind of guy that would slap you with a fish dolphin toy on live stream for a bit of humor. I think we slapped each other with torpedo plushies before.
I've actually got HE plushies right here.
Oh yeah, true, we got the HE plushies.
I'm not very good at aiming.
I'm not gonna pick it up. I
Careful,
landed.
he's flaming his boss.
Oh, I caught it.
Yeah.
I will not throw it back because I will probably hit one of the cameras, knock it over, and then the PC team is gonna be very angry.
PC team's scary.
HE spam. Yeah, even in the office we got HE spam.
Yup. Basically
Trust
the
the
first thing
British.
that happened as soon as they arrived here.
First we had British battleships, now we have British people who spam HE. It's it would be nice if gamers chat and voice chat chat. Like we said earlier, like any cross platform things, there are lots of technical like design
I'm just gonna push
challenges.
'em.
And also moderation is a thing, and we just can't do it very easily. So I don't know. Whether other collabs are possible, like for example, Sabaton is being asked today quite a lot. We would love to, like we are big insert whatever collab partner here fans. We have quite a lot of people working at Wargaming. Odds are somebody probably brought up a cool idea. But it can really take months to years to agree to something. Or in some cases, it's just not possible for legal reasons, for example. There's lots of contractual work.
I'm being completely scuffed by this. I can't. All I'm doing is bouncing the Delaware, but I can't move anywhere else because the Delaware will get me.
Yeah, I'm pushing the Delaware. If it costs me my life to the Peter progression, so be it.
What is something that Legends does well that the PC version could benefit from? What is a PC feature that Legends might enjoy? We actually do that quite constantly. Our developers talk to each other, whether it's for how we rework certain ships, to like something like how we make some part of the UI. Of course, in some cases we have to make it differently anyway for the different games. But I can't give you specific examples. I can think of some, but that would spoil some roadmap, so I can't.
Come on, take him.
But yeah, we talk a lot to each other.
It took my torpedo to kill him. Really?
Was the genius who signed off on the Neon Holidays update? We kind of just wanted a different style for the holidays. If you guys don't like it, then probably won't do it again. We'll see at the end of the update, I guess. Now it's a bit too late to change that anyway. But we just figured Santa and like the Christmas theme or like the wintry theme every year is a bit boring. So we wanted to do something differently. No hot temporary mode would be fun. I honestly don't think it would be very fun for most people. It would be cool for like one battle and then it's just annoying.
Like watching me play right now, right? I don't even know how you're gonna aim with no HUD, like with no crosshair. How would that even?
You don't. That's the thing.
Like,
it would be just pure chaos, honestly.
Ooh, what was that? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh,
Yeah, JB doing JB stuff. Yep.
Any future plans for oil besides fleet crates been fully upgraded for almost a year? It's a bit of a special or difficult topic because a lot of people are lacking behind. Like they don't have their fleet fully upgraded yet. So probably not anytime soon. In future, maybe.
I just need to like
possible.
You know,
wouldn't expect it too soon.
I'm not gonna chase a cat and shit. If he just wants to not participate in this battle, that's totally fine. I'll just turn around.
Yep.
Any plans for asymmetric battles? We told you in our Q&A that we are thinking about it. We kind of want to make it fun. We are trying a lot of things internally, and maybe you will see some fruits in the next years. Who knows?
Come on, firing penalty, go away, please. There we go. I might die here. Didn't jump out. I just punched my ticket.
Nope.
No, it's Teichi. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Jean Bart did exactly what he should have done there. I mean, and
there are lots of repeat questions in chat. I will not be answering these again. Just would be nice if either somebody else can quote me from earlier, or you can just rewatch the stream. I will also, if you keep spamming the same questions, I will rather ignore you than answering them. Like, if we didn't reply to something for like 10 minutes or so, feel free to re-ask, but just spamming something, I'll just remove that.
Yep.
As for Skarloff changes, they didn't make it into this update, but we're looking at Skarloff and what and how we can change her. So probably like the earliest is in some of the upcoming updates that we can actually bring it out the way our update cycle works. And this update in particular was quite crazy. We had a 4-week update into a 6-week update. We have a lot of team members on vacation already or who are going to be on vacation, and so we didn't want to risk any short notice updates and didn't have time to already make any changes. So
yep. So update on subs is basically there's no update on subs when it comes to the most recent developer Q&A. We answered basically the possibility of subs basically being most like if they come to the game, they would be most likely in some sort of PvE or player versus environment or /AI type situation where and not exactly in PvP.
PC version of Legends. Yeah, there was a question regarding Microsoft Store. The version of World of Warships that is on the Microsoft Store is the PC version. It is not Legends. It's the regular World of Warships. So that won't work with cross progression or something like this. No. What do you think of the Game Awards? I mean, I think all of us watched it, yeah. And a couple of other team members. We, of course, were mostly excited about our colleagues finally announcing their new game, Steel Hunters. But yeah, it was a cool show. The biggest issue for us is it is like 1 a.m. for us when these shows in like afternoon in LA are being done. So it's a bit rough on a Thursday to a Friday to stay up. But we did stay up until like 4 in the morning. It was kind of crazy.
I was up until late and then I had work at 8 a.m. the following morning and I came in like, whoa. Mistakes were made.
I mean, all of us, yeah.
Yeah, Blip and I actually went to the office and we had like a watch party together with a couple of people here.
Thank God we have like Monster Energies in our corporate fridge for free. Because I was necking them all day that day, and I was living on them. Yeah.
If you could add a game mode / event from PC or one of your own creation, what would it be? I really like the Halloween event they had with like this gigantic map and super futuristic weapons. That was really fun. I would add that.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking. The key, was it key mode?
Yeah, it was like in the middle of the map there was a portal. You had to get a key, and you worked with like it was a bit like arena mode features, like PvPvE. It was a cool mode.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's very easy to do because it's a very like big map and everything. So probably some key battles and big hunt. Perfect.
Question for Blip: which shipyard is responsible for building the most ships in the game? Quincy is probably a good guess. I don't know off the top of my head. It's probably either Quincy, Barrow and Furnace, or Wilhelmshaven would probably be my guess.
We've been to Barrow and Furnace, haven't we?
Yeah, we've been. Barrow and Furnace has this lovely little museum called the Dock Museum, with a lot of really cool models inside of there, which are the original builders models. And one of them is a giant model of the Congo, the Japanese battleship Congo, which was built there in England.
Yeah, Robin is also really liking the Halloween modes. In general, like all our games have super cool like April Fools and Halloween modes usually. It's mainly because okay, not all. The best of all, of course, Racing Legends. Yeah. No, but a lot of them are really cool, and it's also really cool for our developers. But it's another case of those like we can add it for one update. That is doable, but it still takes quite some work, of course. But continuing to support it gonna be difficult, and also making it replayable for more than just like an update or two is a bit difficult.
The comments are making me laugh. Give Racing Legends a chance.
In terms of like suggestions, like adding new buttons, new left trigger features, stuff like this, that is best to put that in our feedback channel on our Discord, not in a stream chat, because here you can't really upvote it, you can't really discuss it.
Yeah, we have a good question in the chat here. I heard someone was making collectible knives out of salvaged Tirpitz armor. Blip, have you heard of this? Yes, and actually we have some of Tirpitz here in this room.
We have.
I'm pretty sure it's the exact metal that's being used to make the
That
knives.
is actually the metal that was used for the knife.
You can actually see there's knife shapes cut out of it.
Yeah, so that's steel from Tirpitz. And that is indeed a thing. The knives I think go for like $300 to $400 a piece, but super high quality steel, of course.
That was sent to us by, I believe, Draganov from our community.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who also sent us really nice cookies again. I like them.
Is this the guy that sends us like the 5 boxes every year or something?
Yeah. He's the.
I just saw the PC team this year, and they were opening up these boxes, and there were like thousands and thousands of cookies. I was like, you could give these to the whole office, and we still wouldn't finish them.
That was the point.
Like, there's so many.
Yep. Yeah,
he's also the one, his cookie delivery like years ago when I ate this really hot tortilla chip that made me like half die. His cookies was the only thing I had to eat. So I was really grateful for that.
Oh, God. Would you recommend it as a geeky naval purchase? I mean, if it's within your budget, like obviously, and you're willing to put down that kind of money for a nice geeky knife memorabilia item, sure, go for it. But there are plenty of other things. We also have like a hat from HMS Hermes here. And so you don't necessarily have to get metal from a ship, or maybe there's things like rings you can get made from deck wood.
Yeah, I was about to say deck wood is a cheaper option.
We're still getting treasure hunt this year, and then WTF, why not? They said they would have it this month. No, we didn't. There was never any plan to have it, so I don't know where you get this from, but there should at least not have been any official statement that we have it. Maybe we said like, if anything, we'll probably have it around this time, but there are some reasons that I cannot really elaborate on why we don't have it. It's totally possible to have it again in the future, but it of course depends on what other projects we might be working on and where the programmers are needed. stand on it, Sehala, so you can say you stood aboard the Tippets. It's actually a funny idea, but I don't want to stand on it. Don't want to ruin it.
No, let's not do that.
Yeah, I can post our link again in chat. That is no issue.
It wouldn't be the
missing it
most
in the pins.
disgraceful thing done with Turpitz steel, but like because there's a panel of Turpitz steel that's being used as basically a sewer cover in somewhere in Norway, I think.
It's possible, yes or no, dude. Well, it is possible means it is possible. If I could tell you yes or no, I would tell you yes or no.
Yep.
Like,
Well, technically you said yes, it's possible. So yes, it is possible.
but that doesn't mean it is coming for sure. It also doesn't mean it's not coming. That's the whole
The question
answer.
implied, like but by definition, he's like, is this possible? So when you say yes, it's possible, he's asking vague, you're answering vague, but the answer is yes. You may be answering vague, but the answer is still yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is possible.
Guys, pre-written phrases and like for Fleetboard, definitely like
You already
suggest
have
that
them
on
in the
feedback.
recruitment. It's like
We have the
Mike
text,
possible
but
and-
they're talking about like communication.
Oh, okay.
Like, I guess something like a pre-written phrase, let's play Fleet Cup on Saturday, or something like this. Maybe suggested. I don't think we would get this anytime soon, but if you upload that a lot, we can talk about it for one of the upcoming years. Alice, how much Lebkuchen do you eat during the festive period? Yes. No, actually, I try to eat less snacks and sweet stuff, but yeah, it's a big thing. It's like what, gingerbread, I guess, is the closest translation. We have a lot of varieties, just like with bread. We have a lot of different Christmas cookies and stuff.
I think at least in U.S. parlance, it'd be probably closer to shortbread than gingerbread.
It's not close to either, depending on what kind, and there's not really a translation. So some Christmas cookie stuff and food.
Love me some shortbread.
Some what?
Shortbread.
Mm-hmm. I have to look that up.
Yeah.
Not sure if I know what it is. Also, do you know Stollen?
I don't know Stollen.
Oh.
Or at least not. I don't know it by the German name, at least.
It's like with raisins and like powdered sugar on top, and you usually have like a marzipan, like.
Oh yeah.
I think I brought you some before.
Yep.
Yeah. German's very specific in the language. Yeah, it's annoying. It's really difficult to translate some stuff. Alice said HE loaded on the table next to him. Yeah, it was from British HE spam.
Yeah.
I just saw someone ask, what's my favorite biscuit? Probably bourbon. If you're British, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not British, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you
Biscoff.
Google
No idea.
British bourbon, you'll find it. It's a good one. Would recommend.
Biscoff would be my answer.
Biscoff is also pretty good.
Yeah.
If you got like a coffee. Yeah.
Don't know that one either.
You don't know Biscoff? They sell them here in Prague.
Possible.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring you some Biscoff.
You
this
know
week.
it if you saw it, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not discriminating. If it's a cookie, I will eat it. Anything planned, event or mission for Christmas Day, New Year's Day? Nothing outside of the weekly activities. We kind of try to have some activities also during the Christmas and New Year period, but not make it so you have to play on a certain day for the most of it.
Yeah.
The calendar you can skip. You have 7 days that you can just skip for free. Unlock, not skip. You can skip it and then unlock. So you can definitely have like a whole week even of not playing the game and then come back in January and repeat that.
Yep. Yeah, because...
Well, you would be missing out on the weekly missions, yes. But
Yeah.
Any merchandise that Legends can distribute, like team up with model ship companies to replicate the ships found in the game? We did that a little bit, but it is very difficult to do these collaborations, especially when it comes to allowing like the store to operate in the whole world. Doing something only in Europe or only in Japan or only in the US is really difficult. It's really doable to some extent. The time where you actually have to make it available to the whole world, very difficult. Really just not something you can probably do. The PC team has a shop that is like, it has like the Warships logo, which is the same. We just use different colors in Legends. But like this anchor. So you can get that. It's probably linked on their website. I don't actually have the link right now.
I never got the real visual either.
F.
Yeah.
Blip, what can you tell us about Dupleix?
Dupleix. Dupleix is
Dupleix, I guess. Yeah, whatever.
Dupleix is a historical ship. She was a heavy cruiser, second generation heavy cruiser built by the Marine Nationale, based off of their Duquesne design, but with more armor protection. It was not the greatest cruiser design ever. They would eventually, like the ship that came immediately after Dupleix is Algerie, which they knocked it out of the park. Algerie is great. Dupleix is a little bit less so. And so she's a tier lower. She serves through World War II. Was kind of part of the French patrols to find the Admiral Graf Spee. And then whenever France split apart, she was with the Vichy French forces. And she ended up scuttling in Toulon in the end of 1942 whenever Germany invaded again to try and take the fleet. So that's kind of her story.
Could we get ships that are not much played from campaigns or other such events through Burrow? Kind of already did that a little bit, but most of the ships are actually getting played quite a bit and are popular, or some of them even too popular. So there aren't all that many ships that we can actually distribute without overpopulating certain tiers. What's she like gameplay-wise? Any unique traits, Blip?
She has unique armor-piercing shells, which which share the AP fuse time of the Soviet heavy cruisers, which is 0.022 seconds. So a normal fuse time is 0.033 for a gun of this size, which means that she is even better suited for smacking cruisers at tier 5. Because they have relatively thin hulls and thin armor. So having this shorter fuse time, I'm just going to border hump here a little bit.
Tried to save you, buddy.
Having shorter fuse time makes her better at hitting the citadels of cruisers or at and around her tier. So that's her main thing. She also gets access to a main battery reload booster, which I have neglected to equip.
Me too.
So...
Feel bad. I tried to save this battleship from being shotgunned and I wasn't able to save him. But can definitely kill the destroyer.
If you are quick, we can do another battle. Otherwise, it's actually already 13 minutes till 7.
Yeah,
okay.
We can do another battle maybe.
Yeah.
Depends on how much.
So will we be able to play fleet battles on other days other than only the weekends like we could before? Honestly, I don't think so. Maybe we can swap the days around, but. To be honest with you, fleet battles, fleet cups, we'll probably have fleet cups rather than fleet battles, are only something that appeals to a very small amount of the player base, like a small fraction of the player base really. Most players just don't really interact with it, are not that interested. So if we split that across more days, especially also during the week, it would just lead to longer waiting times, or even the past Fleet Cup, I saw some complaints about like waiting 10, 15, 20 minutes. So unlikely. If there are more of you playing it, then we can also add more days.
Yep. So somebody asked how to pronounce it. My best interpretation of how to pronounce it is just Dupleix. And just almost like saying duplex, but with less of a do and more of a duh sound.
What's like an U?
Yeah. So.
I wonder if I can like frag this Nelson.
Why is Arena banned in this game? It's not banned, but it's a similar thing. Like the other modes are just more
popular.
More popular, so we rather bring them. Doesn't mean we don't bring back Arena in the future. I don't know actually. What our plans are for it. We can check.
Yeah.
This is gonna go really bad or really good. Please, it's got HE loaded. That's fine.
I wish you the best of holidays to you as well. Thank you.
Thank God the Nelson had HE loaded. Oh, I might about to frag him here. Do the funny.
Yeah. And somebody asked a game mechanics question. I want to answer real quick. What is the difference between shell grouping and dispersion? So the short explanation of that is dispersion defines the maximum size of the circle or the ellipse, the oval that your shells can land in. So it sets the maximum. Where shell grouping is a modifier on the randomness of your shells going in. So if it's less random, they will tend to be towards the center of your circle where your aim point is. So basically, shell grouping reduces the randomness and makes your dispersion a little bit tighter. Dispersion makes your dispersion a little bit tighter, and also just and increases your accuracy overall. So both increase your accuracy. One reduces your randomness. One hard defines your accuracy.
Deku, who is actually, French speaking, told us earlier there was Dupleix or something like this. It's probably still slightly wrong, but all things considered, for how much we butcher, especially the French names, I think this one is quite okay.
It's one of the few times where you actually pronounce the consonant at the end of the word in French.
Yeah, boy, good addition in training rooms, though, is viewing spot for a player to view the whole battle. The issue is like, guys, honestly, completely scratch the thought of many, if any, training room changes. We knew this is basically dead on arrival. Barely anyone is using it. Adding anything that takes a lot of work, like spectator modes and stuff like this, for this mode is just not worth it. Like,
well, training rooms is basically
it's something for the super hardcore, tiny amount of players who really want to use it, and something so you can do some community activities for example, content creators, or we use it sometimes, but it is a lot of work to change the stuff and very little return. We much rather work on other features that a lot of you might be also asking for.
Well, like, the thing is, players were asking for training rooms for a long time, and we did keep saying, like, this is going to be used by basically no one in the long term, and people were adamant, oh, it will, people can train, Issue is, those who are interested in training rooms will use it, but the casual audience won't. They won't go out the way to see it at all. I mean, even if I check right now how many rooms are active, I'll do right now. We'll see how many people are playing like public training rooms right now.
Well, you mean in the lobby?
Yeah, like that's it.
There's one mostly full
and
lobby, and
most of these lobbies will be full of bots, right? So this was a feature that took a monumental amount of time to develop.
Yeah.
So much so that we had to scrap it and redo it because we had so many technical issues with the first iteration, which we've spoke about in previous blog posts. So this was a long-term quality of life improvement that we developed, and we have it, and it's an amazing resource, and I'm really glad that we have it because it means groups like the Fleet Network and others can operate their community-driven events, which is absolutely awesome. Shout out, by the way. But for further additions, there just has to be a demand for it, and when we say demand, we mean more than 100 people, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, let's say more than 1,000, but like, yeah.
The recent tournament, for sure.
Ocean Cup just concluded with like about 1,000 people participating, but yeah, it's especially with like so many quality of life changes you would like to see, and who knows, maybe some are coming that you really asked for next year. It's just, yeah, we always have to balance what we spend time on, what we spend development resources on. I said it before that we wanted to have like different kind of maps, so it's more like tournament style maps, but even that is something that's not that easy to add. There are a lot of things you might be thinking, oh, just changing a button or adding a button there is easy. You would be surprised how difficult things can be sometimes. And the amount of times where the development team is also like, oh yeah, that sounds easy. Oh, I think any developer, whatever you're working on, is having a lot of sympathy right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Been there, done that.
I did leave the division, so training room's my bad. But if you want to play another game, you can. I guess we have time.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Can you guys post tables of the accuracy/precision of the main guns for battleships and cruisers? I always answer questions whenever I have that information readily available, either in my head or in front of me. Whenever people ask me on Discord, as if for a full table of those parameters, your best bet is to go to our wiki, and our wiki guys are keeping track of a lot of that for us. But a full table for it is pretty unlikely, partially because dispersion characteristics are very hard to explain and do in a way that is useful for people. You can tell people like what a trend is, but that doesn't tell that doesn't give them the full information of like how wide is the dispersion circle, how tall is it, and what is the shape they're in. Yeah, it's the problem with this game is that it gets more complicated the more you dig into it. and which means that the explanation for those things also get exponentially more complicated. So
yep. We're down to the last 5 minutes. I guess we'll just focus this to a chat.
Yep.
Do we have a 3 camera only chat or just
I don't know if it was set up. There is one, but it might not work.
I don't think we have one. We only have this one with both games. So I'll just do my best to cycle between our face cams as we're all talking.
Awesome, thank you. Otherwise, I'm just the voice from the off.
I have actually been making a proactive effort to put you on screen whenever you're speaking.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Well, outside of while we were playing, of course.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've only got 2 hands, right? I'm doing my best. So.
It would be good to see figures in Sigma and dispersion. Like that's also something we know. A tiny fraction of you will actually be ever looking at that, but it is one of those features that is like nice to add for you guys. It doesn't really matter for most people. I will just say it as it is. Whether or not we can add it, like as soon as we are ready to do it, we would announce it. We thought about like doing more like long-term roadmap updates and stuff like this, but honestly, with especially the addition of the fleets and the training rooms, we quote-unquote burned ourselves with that. Like there, we were very open that we're working on it. Something went wrong, which is always possible, actually for various reasons, not just one thing. And it was delayed, and instead of people saying, oh, no problem, good luck, we received hate and insults and just negative, toxic comments that made like if the developers read that, we can be lucky that they don't read everything, because that would just demotivate them from working on this stuff. So guys, if you want early things, have constructive criticism, that's fine. But yeah, because of that, mainly, we will probably not do that many spoilers and upcoming information on what we're working on. And whenever we're ready with something, we will just reveal it like maybe a few weeks before it comes, and then it's there. So yeah, that's just a voice in our heads, exactly. Yeah.
I'm
everywhere. Like same, what about commander presets on ships? If we ever do it, you will see that we are doing it when it's almost ready to release, most likely. We really, like, it's also another thing, our team is relatively small. We don't have the capacity to have like several people just manage like what we can actually tell you about 3 months ahead of time. And we also don't want to pressure the developers, say like, okay, if we announce something coming in 3 months, it has to be coming in 3 months. If the dev team can't finish something, or like something didn't work out, they want some more time, then we much prefer, and I guess you guys would as well, that they polish it more instead of just rushing it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Everyone's asking me for a crate reveal. Guys, I have almost every ship in the game. It's going to achieve absolutely nothing, but okay. Yeah. I have 24 shipbuilding, 2 commander, 1 winter. We'll just open all right now. See, there's everyone's. I've been seeing so many people ask.
I mean, you should complete the collection with that.
Yeah. Someone asked us, can we see a dockyard? Pretty unlikely. The PC's dockyard system requires a lot of 3D animation.
Isn't it a website?
Sorry?
Isn't it technically a website as well?
I'm not entirely sure if that's the case. Probably a lot of their UI is web-based.
Yeah, because that's a lot easier.
Yeah, but it requires a lot of development, which frankly we do not have the we don't have the team members to support that.
It's also like whatever they have, we basically have to remake it from scratch.
Yep.
For several different consoles. Like mobile, as you probably noticed, we can kind of always delay a little bit. We don't necessarily have to have it at the same time, and we don't let mobile like slow down console development. But even for console, like we can't just copy paste, and it can be a lot more difficult actually with how different it works. Like you have to consider completely different things. You oftentimes run out of buttons. Like PC isn't the most like button heavy game, but if you try to port a lot of things from them or like take their ideas and apply it to console, not that easy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Is
Is the yeah
sorry.
you
Sorry, is the carrier rework still an ongoing thing data-wise? Yes. So carrier rework is pretty much still ongoing, and still adjustments that we would like to make. So another question as well, a game that he was playing recently released and basically had the community testing the first version of the game. Is that something that we do? Generally speaking, we do have community members that help us test the game before it's released to you guys. These are super testers operated by Final Boss. He runs their program. But the version of the game that we release to you guys, we try to release as complete and bug-free as possible. So most of the time you might notice that like our UI, our game flow system is very reliable overall compared to many other games. So hope that answers your question.
Shout out to my super testers. You all try really hard, and we appreciate you.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, guys.
No, far more than 2 super testers.
Yeah.
All 2 of them. Kind of been like 2 super testers, yes. No, actually, we just added like what 150.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give or take. It's rounding up now because we're having a few late joiners coming in, but like 160 is probably the safe bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a couple hundred now, and yeah, we can't do like a public test very easily with like everyone.
We kind of do, but there's usually in the form of rentals.
Well, for ships, but not for features.
Oh, yeah. Like there's no... Okay, so the big issue we kind of have with feature testing is we have a separate closed environment, which is like a one-to-one copy of the live server, but it's an experimental server that we can change things on. And if we were to like add a new UI element that just nukes the whole game and makes it unplayable, it's fine because it's a separate client. It's not the live server where everyone is trying to play and, you know, enjoy the game.
Yeah.
So we can't really add modes or anything like this into this client. So, you know, ships we do through rentals, but that's kind of the extent of what we can really do on the live game. Really. Yep. Yeah.
And even the rentals, like for that, they actually need to be ready in time. So
yeah, actually, you'll be surprised how much work goes into kind of, because we also test the rentals before they go to the live server. You'll be surprised how much work and preparation is involved in actually getting a rental on, because not only is it super tested earlier, this means it's actually integrated into our development cycle several months earlier so that it can be tested earlier so that it can then go into rental earlier and then release, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole effort that's actually planned like at least a quarter in advance, sometimes like months and months in advance. So it's not a simple just, oh, we'll throw it in rental, you know.
All right, I think that's kind of it. I see most of the questions are just repetitions or from earlier, even like 5 minutes ago. If you have any other questions, feel free to just ask them in the Ask the Team chat on our Discord. Discord is just WoW's Legends. If you go to like join a server, you type WOWS Legends, you join the server if you're not on there already. And yeah, we said it earlier already, but we will be taking a little bit of a winter break. Some of us will still be in the office. Others will be not the next week. So we are back on the 6th. You can't complain. I offered you the Christmas period.
You're giving me the corner across the eye. Yeah, I'll be.
Don't
I will
make
be the one in the office covering over Christmas again, but I chose to do this.
Don't make the chat pity you. You chose it.
Yeah, I chose. I don't go home to...
You have done this to yourself.
Trips to England are quite expensive, so I don't fly home very often. And this year I won't be, so I chose to be in the office so that other colleagues who are going have the opportunity to spend time with their families.
Yep.
And I especially because I'm taking a long break, like almost 2 weeks, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, so we are back with our next stream, most likely, unless we, I don't know, all end up in a snowstorm here in Prague, on the 6th of January. Next history stream, because I saw this question, we'll have to see, but probably like sometimes in the next month.
Yeah.
I think in theory, Blip is ready with another batch of fun facts with Blip.
Yep. The next theme is U.S. destroyers, so we just have to get a nice time slot. And
I've been preparing for that for quite a while, I think so.
Because there are a lot of U.S. destroyers.
So I heard you like Fletchers.
Yeah. Well, I think like Fletcher could be like an entire like different series of like 10 streams, 3 hours each.
I'm still trying to get to the Clemsons.
Oh. All right, so 7-hour special edition coming in.
We are cutting over our time slot though. So
US Destroyers, that's a 189-hour stream right there. Yeah. Can rotate through all the history buffs in our team, I guess.
Yep.
Anyway, so have a nice Christmas period. Keep an eye out on our socials, on the different community contributor channels. There will probably be some more cool stuff to get. Make sure to use our code for Spectral Vault 2.0. The link is pinned, but I will also post it one final time. It is meant to be live during our stream, so soon it will probably no longer work. If you're watching this during the night, maybe it still works. Wink, wink. And yeah, enjoy the holiday period and see you next year.
Okay. So, Joel just said, your history buff name over USDD. Please don't ask him to do that. So one time someone asked him to do that in Super Test, and he did. And it was like, with a huge list, and it sucked. I hope you all have a wonderful new year and an amazing end of 2024, and you stay safe, surrounded by loved ones, and just be cozy. I'll pass it over to our Prince Flip for his final words of the year.
Okay. Merry
Please
Christmas,
don't really
everyone.
list them.
Happy New Year, happy holidays, whichever you celebrate. Have a great time. Stay safe. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you next year.
I've got that lightning inside me, so no